Hello and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. It's been a while for me, maybe not for you since you're just turning this on right now, but I haven't made a review for a while and I'm going to get back into it. I've got a whole series of beers from a single brewery that I'm going to look at, I think 9 or 10 perhaps. The brewery is called Ise Kadoya, and they are located in Mie Prefecture, which is in central Japan, and it is the kind of an offshoot of a sake brewery, which opened in 1575, so they have been around for a while brewing sake, and they opened as a craft beer brewery in 1997 with some success. It was kind of helmed by I think it still is, by a man named Suzuki, who got a PhD in some form of biology. I don't know exactly which, but he studied yeast, which is of course good for a brewer. And they are located again in Ise City in Mie Prefecture, which is a very famous city. Kind of traditional city, and it's host to the Ise Grand Shrine, one of the most important Shinto shrines in Japan. And they later hired a brewer named Deguchi, who is quite good, and an assistant who used to work at, I'm sorry, no, an assistant left there, that's right, Deguchi was the brewer. And so they have a restaurant there called Byakuda, and their main brewery is now called the Shimono Brewery. They built this new brewery in 2018, and they have restaurants at the Naiku Mai Shrine and Geku Mai Shrine. There are actually two shrines, the inner one and the outer one, and they have a shop at their Byakuda restaurant where you can pick up beers there. They have also a couple of restaurants in Tokyo, one in Shinjuku and one in Yaesu, where you can get a number of taps. Ise Kadoya makes a lot of beers. I think I'm pretty safe in saying that they make more varieties than any other brewer in Japan, craft beer brewer. It's really kind of hard to keep up with them, and many of them, of course, are limited or seasonal beers, one-offs, and they do have kind of a set line, a regular line as well. I have a playlist of Ise Kadoya beers, so you can check that out. Please do variety, and I'll add these beers to that. Now, this is an introduction, of course. If you have, you can skip ahead if you want to see the reviews of the beers. I'm going to look at some of their what we call omiyage beers, souvenir beers, which are sold in and around the Ise Shrine area for tourists, and then some of their newer kind of one-off beers, kind of interesting, unusual beers that they make. Okay, so we're going to begin with one of the beers from Ise Kadoya. Now, the first beer we're going to look at from Ise Kadoya here is called Ise Pilsner. And this is a Czech style Pilsner, and on RateBeer this one has only 11 ratings, but an average is pretty high, 3.48, and 46 percentile for all beers on RateBeer, and 87 for its style, which is Czech Pilsner. On Untapped, this one has 351 ratings, and the average is 3.33. And I rated this about 8 years ago, and I gave it a 3.2. We'll see how it is now. And the can design is kind of nice. It shows the design, of course, of a cherry blossom, sakura, and the explanation on their website mentions that it's based on what's called the Oyama Zakura tree, and this was a tree. It's actually a monument in Ise. And it became a monument in 1986. Apparently, this tree was found blooming on the roof of a shrine there in 1648, and was later transferred to the shrine's library area. And two of the original trees are supposedly in the Gekku shrine in Ise, in the outer shrine. So you can see those there, but that's what it's showing you is the sakura blossom. Okay, so this is a Czech Pilsner. It includes Zatz hops, of course, and Cascade, and also Northern Brewer. It's 5% and 22 international bittering units. This set me back about 315 yen when I bought it in Ise a couple months ago. When we were there in November, yeah. So that would be right around, I'd say maybe like $2.80 US, something like that. Okay, so it is completely clear and a nice gold straw color with a kind of frothy head, kind of a couple fingers of frothy white foam. It has a light perfumey sort of nose, kind of not really citrusy, kind of powdery, like powdered sugar or something like that. I'm not getting Zatz much out of this. Okay, it's got a mildly bready, sort of bready kind of maltiness. Fruity bitterness comes in pretty quickly. It's quite tasty. I'm getting, I think, more Cascade in Northern Brewer than Zatz hops. Zatz are the kind of very pungent sort of hops you might get in a Czech Pilsner, like Pilsner or Kel or something like that. Very distinctive. And I'm not really detecting it here. This is pleasant. And the mild bitterness comes in mid-palate and kind of sticks around. Kind of very smooth. Not aggressive hopping, but very nice and smooth. Has a slight metallic edge in late mid-palate. Kind of interesting, kind of perfumey sort of note. I wonder if they were trying to suggest something like a blossom in this. Gentle, pleasant, interesting. I would rate this higher than 3.2, which I gave it earlier. Although it's not, doesn't seem terribly true to style. It is a very, very tasty lager beer. So once again, this is called Ise Pilsner, Czech style Pilsner from Ise Kadoya Brewery in Ise City, Japan. 5%, 22 IBUs. Well, this is a beer you should try. You may not see it a lot of places. Again, this is one of their souvenir beers generally sold in that area. Okay, well that's it for today. Please check out the Ise Kadoya playlist. A lot of beers I think I have, or I haven't counted recently, but probably at least around 20. And hope you're doing well. Take care. See you next time.